It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. I want to thank one of our loyal listeners for sending in an article for us to review. This article looks like it was published in December, so not too long ago. And it talks about what makes an Agile mindset different. The original author was Amit Lokugamish. And in the article, he starts out the Agile mindset is a way of thinking that embraces change and the process of continuous improvement. Agile is a philosophy or a set of values rather than just a specific methodology. The Agile Manifesto and the 12 principles behind them were the results of industry wide concern over software delivery delays that happened in the 1990s. Rather than specifying a methodology, the Agile Manifesto focused on change in how companies think and encouraged them to find ways to be more agile. Let's pause there. The movement towards business agility actually happened way before this. I mean, all the way back to J. Forrester Industrial Dynamics back in 1961. So the thought process behind trying to make things more effective and more efficient has been around for quite some time. This is not a new mindset, and I don't know that it came up as a result. I mean, we definitely saw in the 90s that software delivery delays happened. This might have been a precursor for the meeting to happen where the Agile Manifesto was created, but I don't know that it was the precursor to help everyone just reflect on true business agility. So far, so good, though. An agile mindset enables teams to work together to be more effective by being open, iterative, and focusing on quick feedback loops. In agile software development, the focus is on customer value. A fundamental principle of agile is working software over comprehensive documentation. Working software is delivered frequently so that customers can see it and try it every few weeks or months. Working software may be released to the customer even if not all the features are complete or thoroughly tested, as long as it's understandable by the customer and their needs have been met. If a feature isn't ready, that's okay too. It'll come later. This is a good mindset and a good mentality. I like where this article is going. And I was warned that it has some good and it has some bad, but this is definitely good. I'm so far I'm 100% in line, which is pretty amazing. I think that oftentimes we look at Agile as something that's a prescriptive process instead of a framework. And I think Amit does a good job here of talking about how it is a framework and how it is adaptive. So how does the Agile approach help manage complex projects more efficiently? Agile development is vital for software engineering, particularly for complex projects. In software engineering, okay, so he's given it a big software engineering slant, which I'm fine with, but I'm going to try to break away from that here. A product lifecycle generally includes requirements gathering, design, implementation, testing, and debugging, and then launch. So in my world, this ties back to ideation or initiation, discovery, then build, and then release, right? Those are the four steps that every product or project goes through. A complex project has a lot of moving parts, waiting for documenting everything or getting approvals before you start development. Those types of steps in traditional waterfall approach might not allow for meeting strict budgetary or timeline requirements. The agile way of thinking encourages just enough documentation and interactions between stakeholders, which could fast track delivery of certain features. I love this. And he goes on to describe that it's not all or nothing, which I think is important because I think too many times we think either you're Scrum or you're Scrum, but you're agile or you're not agile. And I don't know that that's the mentality we need in order for us to seek that continual improvement. Uncertainty and the number and amount of changes that may be found in each step of the process could be challenging. Agile approach emphasizes collaboration between all stakeholders in the project at each stage of the life cycle. This collaboration allows everyone to contribute to improvements in ideas for how to improve a product through continual testing and iteration instead of waiting for each thing to be completed. On the other hand, an agile team embraces changes even later in the process, and this allows the team to be mentally ready for a complex project challenge. Okay, let's stop there for a second. Now, I think one of the biggest disadvantages of Agile is that a lot of times things come up on a team last minute, like you just now described. While it makes things exciting and change is good, it doesn't always mean change is good. Sometimes I see changes just for the sake of making changes, or stakeholders who really don't know what they want. They need to get their head around the bigger picture in order for them to understand. So I think part of it is we need to build towards what we're trying to do, but not lock ourselves in to a long term plan. Build small increments, inspect, adapt. The empirical process, right? Transparency, inspection, and adaptation. If we're doing the empirical process, we'll be fine. So, why organizations need to adopt agile and agile mindset and values? It feels like every week now we've been talking about agile mindset, which I think is great because I think more and more organizations are having this conversation, and that's a healthy conversation to have. Organizations are adopting agile frameworks to enhance their agility and increase efficiency. The Agile framework is a general methodology for iteratively developing good products and services. It requires the organization to create small, self contained sprints or iterations of their product or service that focus on learning, inspect, and adaptation. This structure helps avoid long term silos and enables quick decision making with high quality outcomes. Any organization can benefit from utilizing Agile frameworks regardless of size, location, or industry. Agile teaches us to focus on outcome and not output. So you're spot on again. Very good. Another advantage of the Agile mindset is it fosters a culture of innovation. Agile creates a stand that allows people to work better with unknowns. Innovation needs the courage to look into an unknown future and untapped potential. Ooh, I want to read that again. It says, innovation needs the courage to look into an unknown future and untapped potential. Oh, I might steal that line. That's a good line. And I think that if you are innovative, it means you are brave. And you're brave and you know that everything's not perfect and it's not outlined. But the only way you're going to figure things out is if you try. So, how do you go about creating a culture of innovation within your company? Cultural change can be the most complex and challenging thing to do. A culture that fosters and encourages creative problem solving can have many benefits, such as increased revenue, increased productivity, higher customer satisfaction. If you're not thinking about innovation in your company, you might miss out on a critical source of a competitive advantage. So, how do you ensure your company creates an atmosphere that's proper for innovation? Here's some tips to get you started. Start by creating a solid agile mindset. Be willing to try something new and bet on ideas that you don't necessarily know for certain will be consistent. Embrace continual improvement. Innovation is all about improving, so it's essential to continually improve and develop new products or services. And finally, value innovation and have a culture of creativity. This will encourage team members to come up with creative ideas, which might not work out or even be rejected, but it'll push them to try harder and try more often, which is what's the most essential for innovation. Don't try to get everything perfect on the first round. Know that this is going to be a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a series of sprints. And that's why it's called Agile. That's going to do it for this one. Congratulations, Amit. It's a really good article. If you have an article you'd like for us to review, feel free to reach out to us. Learn more at agiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm going to drop a link to the article in the comments. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.